What if I told you sometimes the greatest gift God can give us is unanswered prayers? Our next guest faced devastating disappointment in sports, only to find that Jesus was preparing something greater in movies. We will also discuss the difficulties facing Christian entertainment today, and it's all here on Faith on Film. Hello and welcome to Faith on Film. Thank you for tuning in today. We've got a great show for you today. Ben Davies, my guest today, is an award-winning actor with the lead or lead supporting roles in 19 feature films since 2011, including Courageous, War Room, and I Am Not Ashamed, all great movies, grossing over $100 million in box office revenue. Ben is also an All-American athlete and was the Junior Olympic national record holder in the Decathlon. Ben, welcome to Faith on Film, my friend.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. This is going to be awesome.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we want to learn all about you. So what we want to do is take this first segment, about 6 minutes or so, and just tell us all about your journey into faith films, how you got started, maybe some of the pitfalls you may have encountered. So just take it away. We want to learn all about you right now, man.
Oh, life's journey in 6 minutes. Let's see if I can pull that off. I would say, you got to start with the roots. And for me, and the place where I'm from there is Nashville, Tennessee. That's where I got my roots started. And I was fortunate and blessed to be raised in an awesome conservative Christian home with two amazing parents. And from the get-go, I was, I guess, in the behind the scenes being thrust a little bit in front of the camera because my mother owned a modeling and talent agency where she had a career in modeling and entertainment before, doing a lot of stuff overseas, and then really wanted to take on that industry and instill values and principles from a Christian perspective into these talent that she's developing. So not just talent on the runway or in front of the camera for modeling purposes, but to also know how to handle yourself, I guess, in those situations. So by default, because she was my mom, I had to just hang out in those classes, and I started doing stuff and picking certain stuff up, doing random acting seminars whenever we'd have a coach like that come in. But where the Lord, I felt like he was leading me originally was in sports, because that's where I was being blessed the most. And in these competitions, you mentioned the Decathlon, which either raises several eyebrows. One, it's the people that actually know what it is, and they're like, oh man, you're one of us. Or it's the other people like, what is that in the first place? Yeah, right. So the Decathlon is actually the competition that is supposed to award the greatest athlete. So it's all 10 events in track and field, jumping, throwing, running. It's just all the events in track and field combined over 2 days. So that's what I did, which is the most random and not so glorious, I guess, as far as me to watch event. But I was doing really well, and I was the best American ever at the time for high school. And I was really thrilled about that. Went on to college, and I thought, this is what I'm going to do. This was my platform for ministry. This is where the Lord is leading me. And then a series of injuries really frustrated me and really made me stumble into the valley that I had dug for myself, really. And really started to look into what the Lord wanted from me and what my walk with him was looking like. And it was at this time where finally I was like, okay, Lord, whatever you want me to do, I'll do, whether it's track, go into ministry somewhere, like move overseas, I don't care. Because at that point, if I couldn't do track, because at that point I'd spent, 15 years just blood, sweat, and tears in one thing. And when you're, 20, you don't know what to do. I mean, that's like most of your life, right? So I was at that point, and I went into a surgery where I had about a 65-70% success rate, and where they just tore open my shoulder and redid everything. Oh my goodness. So I remember coming out of there and I had this sling. And I had been praying, for months for healing. Nothing happened. And I was just in this sling like, all right, whatever happens. And then I got a call from my agent, who normally never calls because I'm in track season and I can't do anything, right? But she's like, hey, do you have time to go on this little audition? And I'm like, yeah, I've got 6 months where my coaches can't tell me what to do. Let's do this. And then I went up and trained for a couple of weeks and came down. And then she's like, yeah, there's this small church in Albany, Georgia. It's Sherwood Church. They're doing a movie. You should go down their audition. So I went down there and I met with Alex and Stephen Kendrick. And a few weeks later, they told me I had the role of David Thompson in Courageous. And I remember, ye of little faith, right? I mean, I had little heard that phrase in my head because I was so frustrated. Like, Lord, why are you not healing me? Why is this not happening? And it was just a door that he was opening that was so much bigger than what I even envisioned for myself. And that was from that movie. That's what really opened the doors for Christian entertainment.
Wow. So now, are you also doing Hollywood films, or are you pretty much sticking to faith-based films?
Well, I'm in Los Angeles right now, and I auditioned for a lot of different. A lot of this presented to me is I still audition for. I've turned down certain auditions because there's some stuff for me that I will not walk in for.
Right.
Roles that I cannot take. But I've done, I guess you'd call it secular films, but Hollywood films that are not necessarily Christian based, but are more family friendly and romantic comedies, that sort of thing. I've done those.
Well, you mentioned in the beginning here that you grew up in a very conservative home. That's got to make it pretty difficult to be in Hollywood, which is extremely liberal, and then you're a conservative. Do you find that challenging?
Is it conservative? I didn't notice. Like all the award shows seem really pro, traditional American values.
Yes, sure.
You know what's funny? This is a true story. So I got out to LA, and the first thing that most Christians think when they come out here is like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be in Sodom and Gomorrah. Like, how's the Christian with the target on my back? How's it going to be?
Right.
And I was in an acting class where I had to do a scene in front of these really high up coaches, and I was supposed to take the Lord's name in vain. And they wanted me to like say it out loud and then do my line. And I was like, I can't say that. Say it. And they're like, no, that's totally fine. Just we have some Christians that work here. Just say something else and then say your line. And I was like, okay. So I did it. Didn't take anything of it. I had a girl meet me outside afterwards, and she's like, hey, I'm a Christian too. That was so brave and awesome what you did. And I was like, really? It was so easy because everyone out there was so understanding. Like all the people that I was afraid of were really understanding and respectful, at least from what I've experienced. Politically, once 2016 happened, that election, right. You can't wear shirts, hats, say certain things. I mean, I've had friends literally post pro-life things on their personal Facebook pages, and then all of a sudden, within 1 week, got dropped from all their managers and agents. I mean, it just spreads through. I think because Christians have gotten so docile, one, and two, the image of Christianity that they get is the most horrible envisioning of, or a horrible representation of what it is. So when they meet me as a Christian, like, oh my gosh, I thought you were just a hateful, horrible person. This is what the media tells me constantly. This is what every movie portrays you as. And they have no idea. Most of it is ignorance. But as soon as you have a belief system that is directly opposed to them, like if you are pro-life, if you are, pro-national sovereignty, anything like that, it is unacceptable. So that is the thing that has been the most scary, is just knowing that just one wrong post that is honest or truthful could be the end of your career.
Oh, that is so terrible. Well, listen, now, it seems to me, though, that your journey into acting actually had started way, way before you even knew it, because I have it on good authority that you've been acting since before you could walk. In fact, apparently you were still in diapers when you appeared in your first national TV and print campaign. So we won't deal with that right now, but when we come back, because we're going to take a little break right now, I want to find out what that's about, all right?
Sounds good.
Okay, folks, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Cell reproduction, more than duplication. It's careful selection and organization, ensuring the perfect balance for development and growth. Powerful, so is our programming. Parables, the leader in empowering entertainment. Parables. Be empowered. Start your free trial today.
Sight and Sound Theaters invites you to experience one of the most powerful Bible stories ever told.
Samson, you're going to deliver our people from the Philistines.
God gave him the strength to fight thousands.
Where does he get his strength from? Nobody's that strong.
But his greatest challenge will be living with his own choices.
Who are you?
Delilah.
We want you to find out the secret of his strength.
We will destroy Samson.
Playing in Branson for one last encore season. Get ready for a mighty adventure for the whole family.
You are my rock and my strength. Be with me today.
Samson, live on stage at Sight and Sound Theaters in Branson, Missouri.
I wonder how long a dolphin lives. I wonder if they can make cookies in space. I wonder when people started brushing our teeth. I wonder if people and dinosaurs ever lived together.
Want to find out?
I wonder how much a cloud weighs.
Hello and welcome back. We're here today with Ben Davies, who, I think one of the first movies that I saw him on was Courageous. But apparently he's been on quite a few films and actually started acting since he was in diapers. Ben, okay, explain to me, what was that all about?
That's a little bit exaggerated. Okay. There wasn't any technique involved with the acting. It was more like, can he stand there and hold a balloon? So, yes, technically it was on camera. Yes, it was a print campaign, but did I really know what I was doing? That's debatable. So that's the story of that. Can he hold the balloon? Nailed it. All right, go to the next shot.
But it was still, technically it was the beginning of your journey.
Technically, yes.
Okay. Well, now, I just mentioned that the first place that I saw you was on Courageous, and you mentioned that you, when you auditioned, you had your arm in a sling and all that. I read somewhere that you told Alex, or Alex asked you if you would be able to do some of the stunt work and hold the gun and all this, and you said, "Hey, if God told you to call me, then God's going to heal my arm." Maybe elaborate on that a little bit more.
That's so fun. That's actually like word for word what happened. I was wondering where you got that information from.
Hey, I have a great research team. Right.
That must be it. Yeah, because I had not done anything. Actually, and I literally, for the audition, I had to like lift my right arm out and set it on my leg to do like the talking. And they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to. This is a cop movie. In about a month, you're gonna have to run and gun a little bit. You're gonna be okay." And I was like, "Well, if the Lord wants me for this role, I'll be totally fine." Yeah, that's basically what I said. And they're like, "Okay." And then I got the call, and the first time I really used my shoulder at that point was when we were doing police training, like firing the actual 9mm that we used. So that was pretty much how it happened. And the Lord healed it up to where I was totally fine at that point when we started filming.
Wow, that's fantastic. I've had situations where God will really do what you say sometimes to do. Like I was in a band, and I remember one time I was supposed to do a concert somewhere, and I was so sick, and I said, "God, heal me at least for the time during the concert." All of a sudden, I'm feeling great. I do the concert, and guess what? Concert's over. All of a sudden, I'm sick again. I should have said, "Heal me completely," even beyond the concert, but. So yeah, be careful what you ask for, right?
Exactly.
But anyway, I want to tell you something about Courageous, because I think this will bless your heart. My pastor at our church, they use our church. The police academy uses our church for their graduations, and there'll be 300-400 graduates every time they do it. And my pastor will buy a DVD of Courageous for every single one of those cadets and hands it to them. So. You're just reaching beyond even what the movie did in the theaters.
Yeah, I'm so humbled every time I hear stories like that because, as an actor, you're just, you're worried every second of the day, and you're just saying other people's lines. You're in front of the camera for a few minutes, and they cut together your best moments, and they send it out there. Like, you're such a small piece, even though you see yourself on camera, to this huge puzzle that was put together by God when it's a project like this. And you see the fruits of your labor when you hear stories like that, as well as I didn't realize how big Courageous was going to be until on, Facebook. I was getting people using Google Translate from like Malaysia and Georgia and these other to say, "Oh my goodness, this movie just changed my life." And it's like I didn't do anything, it's just amazing to see what the Lord can do through a couple people who are willing and good servants and good stewards with the tools they gave him, like the Kendrick brothers are.
Yeah. Now, do you have any great stories of what it was like when you were on the set? Any little secrets?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you one of the secrets. People often ask me, especially in independent circles, what do you think is most important to have on set? A lot of times I say spend your money on time and P&A, which time is you're not rushing your shots, and P&A is the money to advertise afterwards. Mm-hmm. But what the Kendrick brothers do, and what you should always do, especially on a Christian project, is make sure you have a prayer team there, whether they're volunteers or on staff, because what they had every single morning was a group of people dedicated to pray for whoever needed prayer, and then over every set. And they weren't like, in front of the camera, stop the cameras, let's pray or anything, but they were always there, and they were always available for you if you needed them. And that was huge for me, especially as a first-time actor, feeling like I was carrying such a heavy weight in these scenes.
Yeah, I remember speaking to one of the Sony folks that were there, and they shared a story of how they were there, and they were talking to Alex and said, now, we see that right there. We can tell that's, that's wardrobe there, and over there, that's where people go to eat. But what is that tent over there that we keep seeing people go in and out of? And Alex explained to him, that's our prayer tent. And they were just blown away. I mean, they had never experienced this. It wasn't like they were Christians. It was just the executives from Sony coming to see, one of their movies. So that I imagine that must really make a big difference just overall on the set.
Oh, night and day, really.
And of course, it also, I think, comes out on the screen as well. Well, we're going to take one more little break, and then we're going to come back and find out about some new projects that you are now working on. So, people will know, for instance, there is another movie coming out with the Kendrick brothers that you're a part of, right?
Let's do it.
All righty. Folks, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Sunflowers. To pollinate and reproduce, they turn and face the sun. Nature's way of reminding us that for ultimate growth, we must seek the light. Parables, the leader in empowering entertainment. Parables. Be empowered. Start your free trial today.
I wonder if penguins have knees. I wonder how many colors we can't see. I wonder why there's so many stars in the universe. I wonder if we ever look like apes.
You want to find out?
I wonder if puppies have belly buttons.
Welcome back to Faith on Film. Having a really great time today with my guest, Ben Davies. Ben, so you've got some new movies coming out. I know there's one that's coming out, I believe, in August. This program will air just about maybe a couple of weeks or so before that comes out. What movie am I talking about?
That movie would be Overcomer. Overcomer, and it really just like there's a few things in Hollywood that you can count on, just like death and taxes, and that's Marvel superhero movies
right.
and the Kendrick brothers projects delivering.
There you go.
And the Kendrick brothers have, I think this is their 6th installment after War Room, and this is the movie Overcomer. And I was so fortunate and thrilled to be cast in another small kind of in War Room as courageous. I had more of a staple role. In War Room, they brought me in for a cameo, which was just super fun to get back in the cop uniform. And in Overcomer, I get like a small like character role where I actually have a few scenes. It's a great project, and I was thrilled to be a part of this one because what the Kendrick brothers do better than any other filmmaker that I've encountered is they have just their hand on the pulse of what the country needs, and that's only from the Lord directing them to these projects. Like, fatherhood was such a big part of Courageous, and then prayer, being in War Room, and this one is all about your identity and like where that actually comes from. And in our society today, often that topic itself is so vital to everybody, but it's also weaponized by so many people who feel like they can they can make you depend on them because they tell you, well, your identity is really this. And so you need to be in this group and you can't associate with these people, or this is what's important to you because you're in this group. And they cut through it so perfectly where that really is, where the identity. And I'm so impressed with the way they wove a great story together to capture that.
Well, you know, one thing about them is they don't just pump out movies, you know, and just get a script and say, okay, God downloaded this and here it goes. I mean, they actually take their time and pray about the story, pray about the script, probably go through several rewrites, and they come out with great stories. I'm a huge fan of theirs. I don't know if you can see behind me, but I'm in my screening room, by the way, and behind me is every poster of every movie they've done so far. The only problem is I don't have room for this next one, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that poster. I'll have to find a way to put it up there. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of those guys because I think they're just doing a great job at making movies that, you know, that really inspire you and make you feel like you're on the right team. Actually, what else? Yeah, go ahead. They do such a good job of that. They really do, and they do it for the right reasons, 100%. And I don't say that about. Yes. I like for my yeses to be yes, my nos to be no, and I would always back those guys. And as far as other projects go, I think you were segueing into that too. Mm-hmm. Was hopefully it's supposed to come out sometime in like later this month. I guess sometime or not this month. This is taped there. Right. Another cop movie called Fearless. Oh yeah, it just came out. Fearless Faith. Look out for it. And I feel like I'm getting typecast in police roles, but I play a police officer in this movie with Jason Berkey from October Baby. He's plays a buddy cop movie basically with him, and Erin Bethea from Fireproof is the lead girl. And it was a fantastic project, and there's some real stuff that happened on set too. It was a lot of fun. Cool. Now, I understand you're also a writer, though. You're not just an actor and an athlete. You're also a screenwriter, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of it maybe my decathlon background, where I don't want to you can't just focus on one event. You want to kind of well-round yourself as an athlete and also as an entertainer. And also as an actor, you get frustrated being like, why shouldn't the scene go like this? Like, this story would be so much better. And so you're always like asking for the job, basically. Sure. And so with writing, it's almost therapeutic, where you had all these ideas and scenarios and stories in your head, and be able to like fully flesh them out has been fantastic. And we're pushing a script right now called The Great. I wrote with Kirk Cameron's historian, Marshall Foster. He's a brilliant historian. And it's a pivotal part of history about one of the great heroes that has been forgotten because he was such a devout Christian, and he laid the foundations for Western civilization, common law in England. What our Constitution is basically based on is all because of this one man. And it's an incredible story. And it was a finalist at the International Christian Film Festival, got third at Curios Movie Guide Awards. So we're really excited to see where this one goes.
Well, I'll be praying that it actually becomes a movie at some point here. So now listen, how can people follow you, get a hold of you? Is there a way that they can maybe even write you and just let you know that they're praying for you?
Yeah, the easiest way to follow me, I've tried to consolidate it all. Mm-hmm. All of my social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, is just at Ben Davies Actor. Okay. So just at Ben Davies Actor is the handle, and you can find all the stuff on there, and I try to write back whenever I can. So.
All right. Do you have a website also?
No. No website.
So listen, if you're out there and you want to help him make this movie that he just wrote and is winning awards on, you know how to get a hold of him. Ben, fantastic. Thank you so much for making yourself available to do this interview. I know that you're pretty busy, but I'm glad you took the time.
Yeah, anytime, man, for real.
Fantastic. Folks, don't go away. We'll be right back.
I'm Jonah. I'm from Fort Worth.
I'm Noah Long from Colorado.
Hi, I'm Rayma. I'm from Oklahoma.
From TFI, I expected to be in a classroom and to be on set. But what I got was so much more.
I expected a lot of classroom situations, but what I got was a lot more hands-on, and it was more tailored to your interest in the filmmaking world.
A lot of great teaching and information that I could apply to what I love and what I do.
I came to TFI for my mom. She is really passionate about learning film and directing, and so I came as a favor to her, and I'm really glad that I did.
Get over here to TFI.
The acclaimed Creation Museum and outreach of Answers in Genesis is a one-of-a-kind museum filled with animatronic characters, interactive videos, a spectacular planetarium, a special effects theater, and many other world-class exhibits. Since its opening in 2007, the Creation Museum has welcomed millions of guests at its 49-acre location in the greater Cincinnati area. The dramatic finale of the museum is The Last Adam film, where guests experience the glory of God's redemptive plan and hear a clear and powerful presentation of the gospel message. Since the museum's opening, we have heard countless testimonies from adults and young people whose lives have been changed through a museum visit. Now discover how it might change your own life for Christ. Plan your visit at creationmuseum.org and prepare to believe.
Well, we've come to the end of another great show. I want to thank you for tuning in. Also want to invite you to check out some of the films that Ben Davies has been involved with. Some films like Courageous, Virtuous, War Room, I'm Not Ashamed, Touched by Grace, one of my favorites, Because of Gracia, Fearless Faith, and of course, the new movie by the Kendricks brothers, Overcomer. Also want to invite you to check out Parables Television, a place where you can watch a lot of great Christian films and documentaries, children's shows, reality shows, a lot of great content for you and your family. Simply go to parables.tv. That's parables.tv. And of course, write me. I want to know that you're there and that you're checking out this show, that you're watching, and let me know what you think of the program. Let me know if there's some ideas of maybe somebody you'd like for me to interview. Simply write me at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. So until next week, take care. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Faith on Film. I pray each episode stirs up a desire in you to support good faith-based entertainment. All who are involved in faith-based entertainment are doing so with a strong desire to provide you with content that both inspires and helps you maintain a good, healthy soul. As you know, just like we feed our bodies healthy food in order to maintain good health, we must at the same time feed our souls healthy entertainment to keep it strong. The purpose of this show is to raise awareness about those filmmakers who are creating this great healthy content and to help you get to know them better. So write me and let me know how we are doing. Simply send me an email at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. To stay up to date on new and exciting events, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Faith on Film TV. Also, let your friends know about this show and invite them to like the Facebook page so they too can keep up to date on what is going on with Faith on Film. Thank you and God bless.